Then we sit and sob and long for the gaslit streets and the sound of human voices and the answering throb of human life. We feel so helpless and so little in the great stillness. When the dark trees rustle in the night wind, there are so many ghosts about, and their silent sighs make us feel so sad. Let us gather together in the great cities and light huge bonfires of a million gas jets and shout and ring together and feel brave. Harris asked me if I had ever been in the maze at Hampton Court. He said he went in once to show somebody else the way. He had studied it up in a map and it was so simple that it seemed foolish, hardly worth the twopence charged for admission. Harris said he thought the map must have been got up as a practical joke, because it wasn't a bit like the real thing and only misleading. It was a country cousin that Harris took in. He said, "We'll just go in here so that you can say you have been. But it's very simple. It's absurd to call it a maze. You keep on taking the first turning into the right. We'll just walk around for 10 minutes and then go and get some lunch." They met some people soon after they had got inside who said they had been there for 3/4 of an hour and had about enough of it. Harris told them they could follow him if they liked. He was just going in and then should turn around and come out again. They said it was very kind of him and fell behind and followed. They picked up various other people who wanted to get it over as they went along until they absorbed all the persons in the maze. People who had given up all hopes of ever getting either in or out, or of ever seeing their home and friends again, plucked up courage at the sight of Harris and his party, and joined the procession, blessing him. Harris said he should judge there must have been 20 people following him in all, and one woman with a baby who had been there all the morning insisted on taking his arm for fear of losing him. Harris kept on turning on the right, but it seemed a long way, and his cousin said he supposed it was a very big maze. "Oh, one of the largest in Europe," said Harris. "Yes, it must be," replied the cousin, "because we have walked a good 2 miles already." Harris began to think it rather strange himself, but he held on until at last they passed the half of a penny bun on the ground that Harris' cousin swore he had noticed there 7 minutes ago. Harris said, "Oh, impossible." But the woman with the baby said, "Not at all," as she herself had taken it from the child and thrown it down there just before she met Harris. She also added that she wished she never had met Harris and expressed an opinion that he was an impostor. That made Harris mad, and he produced his map and explained his theory. "That map may be all right enough," said one of the party, "if you know whereabouts in it we are now." Harris didn't know and suggested that the best thing to do would be to go back to the entrance and begin again. For the beginning again part of it there was not much enthusiasm. But with regard to the advisability of going back to the entrance, there was completely unanimity, and so they turned and trailed after Harris again in the opposite direction. About 10 miles more passed, and then they found themselves in the center. Harris thought at first of pretending that was what he had been aiming at. But the crowd looked dangerous and he decided to treat it as an accident. Anyhow, they had got something to start from then. They did know where they were, and the map was once more consulted, and the thing seemed simpler than ever. And off they started for the third time.